everybody to Quantacast 12. We're here today to talk about 23 Graham Street in Milton in Brisbane. Joining us, as always, is Stacey Jones, our founding director. Welcome, Stacey.
Thanks, Tim.
And today we've got someone fresh to the Quantacast. We have Andre Liu. Welcome, Andre.
Hi, Tim.
Andre's been working with us for 6.5 years, knows all things transactions, very much dives into the detail for us, particularly around the feasibility and modelling. So, Andre, Stacey and I have been out to site a number of times now. I've been to the site possibly 4, and we really like what we see. Tell us a little bit about the asset.
Yeah, it's a really well located office building in Milton, which is about 3 kilometres from the CBD. Really substantial land holding, 3,700 square metres, fully leased to ADCO and Bilby with a WALE of 3.65 years. We're buying this building for $21 million, looking to raise $14.3 million. Average distribution is 8.75%, commencing at 8.25% year one, growing to 9.25%. Look, I really like it, Tim. I think that the buildings really present well, the tenants love it, high car parking ratio, neat and tidy, and we're buying it for a really good value.
Stacey, you've been out and had a look at the property. It's comprised of 2 buildings. Andre will talk about that. What's your view on your sort of first look?
Look, Tim, I think this is one that, and we've seen it quite often, that when we go out, it's far more impressive on site than it is on paper, and this certainly is one of those. It's a very large land holding. It's set up very well. It's at the end of a cul-de-sac, which really suits particularly the tenants that are there now, and you can see how it's really going to work for other tenants in the future. I was really impressed.
Yeah, working in the CBD, you don't get that sort of green kind of feel it has at the end of that cul-de-sac.
It's sort of got that little business community feel down there almost.
Yeah, the site's fantastic, and you can see why the 2 tenants that are there, it works perfectly fine.
Works really well for them, and you can also see just how much potential there is for the future.
Bringing you back in, Andre, let's talk a little bit about the location. So just give us an update on Milton.
Milton's located 3 kilometres from the Brisbane CBD. It's one of Brisbane's most established fringe markets, really compelling value proposition for occupiers trying to move outside of the CBD. Milton provides really good car parking ratios, about 4 to 5 times than what you'd typically see in the CBD, and rents are substantially cheaper. They're around $600 a square metre compared to a comparable product, which might be about $850 in Brisbane.
Yeah, which is interesting, I guess, to workforces that have more of a mobile play to their business, because you definitely need the extra car parking. And I suppose, and we'll talk about it if we can now, the rents the vacancy starting to really tighten in the CBD. So what's that doing for areas like Milton?
Yeah, so currently Milton has a 10-year low vacancy rate. It peaked at 28% in about 2018, now down to 12%. Even 2 years ago it was about 20%, so it's really come down significantly.
And do you think that's just going to, compress more as we get closer to this Olympic Games?
Yeah, definitely. There's no proposed commercial office supply in Brisbane or in that fringe market. So we think that as vacancy rates continue to decline in the CBD, that's also going to flow through to Milton as a alternative to occupiers.
Okay, fantastic. Now let's talk tenant, because there's 2 tenants on this site and it's fully leased. I think you mentioned, if you haven't, it's about a 3.5 to 4 year WALE. Who are the tenants on site at the moment, and what do they get up to?
So 2 tenants on site. First one's ADCO. Got about 500 staff, over $1.2 billion of annual revenue. They've delivered over $10 billion of projects across the last 50 years. One of Australia's largest private construction companies, and they focus on non-residential projects, so retail, commercial, industrial, education, health, those sorts of assets.
And what about the second tenant, Andre?
Second tenant is Bilby. They're a Queensland civil engineering company. They focus on roads, bridges, rail, those sorts of projects. So they conducted the Ipswich motorway upgrade, the Pacific Highway upgrade, and the Inland Rail Northern Civil Works program, which was 162 kilometres of rail, 30 kilometres of road upgrades, and they built like 31 bridges. Okay,
fantastic. They're quite substantial then. So both those workforces, Stacey, have a real need to get out on site, I suppose. So I think there's 73 car parks there. So when you were out on site, what did you witness from that situation with that extra car parking?
There was a lot of coming and going. So it's clearly very important to those businesses, and with where the building is located, it's got such great access to Coronation Drive, Milton Road, which through the various networks gets you everywhere you need to go. So you can just see how it just creates there's a hub of activity going on in that car park, and we saw there's a lot of high vis on site. So the people are coming and going out and back to site, and it's a very practical location for them.
Yeah, and I know it might seem not as material, but they've got a thing like they've got a little gym there, they've got a little barbecue area there, they've got a really substantial loading dock area, so it really is suited to the two tenants there on site. So 3.65 year WALE on that particular property, which is great. Andre, do you see that as advantageous to have that sort of term of lease expiry?
Yeah, I think it's a really good sweet spot for term. So Bill will be expiring in about 3 years and ADCO in 4 years. So that's the 3.65. Gives enough time to really benefit from the existing leases. But as Brisbane and Queensland continue to grow and rentals grow, we think that there's going to be rental uplift on renewing those leases in that 3 to 4 years.
Do you want to talk to a little bit about there's two buildings on site, and we spoke about the way that this site works really well for the current tenants, but in the event that they don't continue to re-sign, why is it leasable to others? And talk to me a little bit about the public transport, etc. that's close by.
Yeah, so two buildings on site, really good natural light, great tenant amenity. There's public transport within walking distance, so there's the bus stop, the train station, and the CityCat terminal. The good thing, as Stacey mentioned as well, is a very high car parking ratio. And the good thing about that car park is that it is at grade, so no basements. So cars can go in and out. There's a boom gate up and down straight through, and all tenanted areas are located above ground level, which means they really benefit from that natural light. And unlike the CBD, as like our office, for example, all boxed in by different towers, this one's really good. Again, natural light and green space.
Yeah, well, you do get that. You get that as soon as you walk on site. And even when you're going through the tenancies, it's something that, whilst I like the location we're in Edward Street in Brisbane, you do like that natural light coming in as well.
And the fit out's really great, Tim. So the fit outs are less than 12 months old. That at a standard, similar to our premises here and very comparable to the CBD. And you're getting the same quality fit out for like $300 a square metre less.
Stacey, with the two buildings on site, what opportunity do you think that provides us for exit opportunities or release when that comes time?
I think having the two buildings on site as opposed to one building having 5 levels it lends itself really well to a tenant claiming a building as their home and making it their own, and that's kind of how it's operating now. Of course, it also lends itself to some potential subdivision in the future, which might unlock some extra value, but it's just something different that site has that a lot of others don't.
Yeah, I agree. When you go there, you look around and surrounded by office everywhere there, and I know that, as Andre said, the vacancies come down, which is great, but it's almost like an office park.
Yeah,
almost.
it's got a different feel about it for the tenants.
Stacey, let's talk about the trust structure and also the investment amounts.
So, Tim, we've got a 7-year closed-ended fund, single asset. So the asset that's there at the beginning is the one that's there at the end. We have opened for expressions of interest, and we've had a very strong response to that so far. And I'm aware that I'm sounding like a broken record because I've said it on the last few, but with the expressions we've received so far,
which are over 120 so far, I think.
Yeah, 120 investor responses.
Yes,
will be well oversubscribed. So it's another case, and we saw it with Titanium Drive, closed very quickly, and we had some investors who unfortunately missed out. So if you're thinking about this one, don't wait around because this one will go.
Yeah, agreed. And I think the settlement date for this one, thanks Stacey, is the 7th of October. So looking forward to working through all the processes, due diligence, and then the finance as well, finance period. But yeah, you're right. We've had a really strong expression of interest so far. So that's fantastic. And we appreciate the support as always. Andre, let's wind up now. If you could just give us the high-level metrics, or could give the investors the high-level metrics, that'd be great.
23 Graham Street, $21 million purchase price, seeking to raise $14.3 million of equity, 100% leased to 2 tenants, ADCO and Bilby Engineering, 3.65 year WALE, 5-star neighbours rating.
Andre, nailed all those metrics. That's fantastic. The critical one for our investors, of course, is the distribution is an average of 8.75 across 5 years, commencing at 8.25, growing to 9.25. So overall, we're really pleased with this opportunity. The EOIs are telling us that our investors are as well. So I'll thank Andre for being here in your first time. You did a great job, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Tim.
And Stacey, as always, you've done a great job.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for being here, and we look forward to bringing you a Quantacast again very soon.